Good evening, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is KD8VYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline Report, number 2529, with a release date of Friday, April 17th, 2026. To follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. A return to production for high-gain and Cushcraft antennas. Hams in Hawaii activate for yet another big storm, and darkness returns for Japan's solar-powered satellite. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2529 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. And now reporting from Valparaiso, Indiana, here's Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
We begin this week with the news that two popular antenna brands, formerly part of MFJ Enterprises, will be back on the market soon under new ownership. Andy Morrison, K9 AEWM, tells us what to expect next.
Production of the high-gain and Cushcraft antennas and antenna products popularized by MFJ Enterprises will be going forward under new ownership and in a new home in Linton, Indiana. The Indiana-based manufacturing and engineering business ITU Corporation has purchased both brands from Martin F. Jew, K5FLU, president and founder of MFJ Enterprises. MFJ, which Martin founded in Starkville, Mississippi, halted production in the spring of 2024. Manufacturing of the two brands will resume at a property that formerly housed the National Guard Armory. The 15-acre site is being repurposed for the production. In a statement announcing the deal, Martin expressed confidence that ITU would honor both brands' tradition of service to the amateur radio community. He said that he was certain that ITU's Dave and Camby Carpenter, quote, share our commitment to American-made quality and customer satisfaction. They bring the engineering expertise and manufacturing passion necessary to keep these products and these trusted American high-performance antennas on towers worldwide for years to come, end quote. The Carpenters are also the owners of the electronic supply store Tech Shack. ITU, which has its company headquarters in Duggar, Indiana, has also purchased MFJ's designs, tooling, specialized equipment, manufacturing, and marketing rights for use in the Linton location. The company plans to move all manufacturing operations there from Mississippi, a transition that is expected to take about 2 months. This is Andy Morrison, K9 AWM.
Already battered by flooding a month ago, Hawaii watched as its emergency responders went back on the air for yet another storm. As we hear from Randy Sly, W4XJ.
With memories still fresh from historic storm-related flooding in March, hams in Hawaii were back on the air early this month after the same kind of storm, known as a Kona low, struck the region. The activation, which began on the 8th of April, focused on the same cooperation as before between city and county emergency communicators and Hawaii's Radio Amateur Civil Emergency Service, or RACES, operators. Staying at their radios overnight into the 9th of April, the RACES hams ensured that traffic could be passed via voice and WindLink email on both 2 meters and the HF bands. An additional overnight shift carried the operation through to its conclusion on the 10th of April. Throughout the activation, the hams were able to pass situational awareness traffic and assist with response coordination, making the necessary adjustments in response to various conditions. When interference disrupted their original channel, the hams had to QSY to a new 80-meter frequency to keep long-range communications viable. The storm, known as the Kona Low 3 weather system, came only weeks after back-to-back Kona low storms led to Hawaii being declared a federal disaster area. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
The winter storm that held much of the Quad State region and the Ohio Valley in its clutches in late January has long since melted. But one of the more positive parts of that challenging experience still remains: the gratitude that emergency responders in Kentucky have for local hams who stepped in to help. Kevin Trotman, N5PRE, has that story.
Communicating under difficult circumstances is a big part of what the Amateur Radio Community Services KY4ARC is all about. Earlier this month, the hams were recognized for their readiness in the January winter storm by the Paintsville-Johnson County Emergency Management Director, Paul Burchett. In a presentation of certificates at the club's monthly meeting, Burchett said that Club President John Hager, N4KJU, and others provided relays of critical information to other emergency managers at important times throughout the storm. He told members of the club, quote, "We greatly appreciate everything you all do and everything you do for us," end quote. With the storm now simply a chapter in history, club members are still ensuring the lines of communication stay open. Rain, shine, or whatever the weather, they will continue to check in with one another every night at 10 p.m. local time. This is Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
The New York State man has been charged with interfering with the radio channels used by emergency services in his city. Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, has the details.
Police in Central State New York have arrested a man and charged him with interfering with emergency radio channels by transmitting false statements over equipment he was unauthorized to use. Local media reports said police stopped Chad Potter of Sherburne, New York on the 31st of March while he was driving in a vehicle equipped with a number of radios tuned to frequencies where, according to police, he has been disrupting emergency services. A report on WBNG News 12 said that an investigation into reported radio interference dates back to 2021. Police said that fire, EMS, and law enforcement operations were disrupted several times by his messages. The WBNG News report described one transmission as, quote, shots fired, end quote, which reportedly caused concern and confusion among first responders and the public. On the day when Potter was arrested on the radio-related charges, city police had pulled him over in relation to a traffic stop. Investigators said his vehicle was equipped with aftermarket lighting that made it look like he was an emergency responder. Police issued a citation to him for the lighting. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
The aging solar-powered satellite, Fuji Oscar 29, made big news in early March when its entry into a full sunlight orbit woke the 30-year-old satellite from a long slumber. Well, guess what? It's nap time again. As Jim Meacham, ZL2BHF, tells us.
If you've been enjoying continuous operation using the newly awakened Fuji Oscar 29 from Japan, you may want to make plans to take a break. AMSAT News reports that on or around the 21st of April, the satellite will return to a period of eclipse. In other words, no more sunlight. The Japan Amateur Radio League has estimated that the satellite will remain without power and go back to sleep and out of service for about a month. The satellite is fully dependent on its solar panels since its onboard batteries have not worked in many years. There is a bright spot in all of this, and we do mean bright in every sense of the word. Full sunlight will become available to the satellite again starting around the 20th of May. Hams can once again look forward to more continuous operation through to the middle of November. This is Jim Meacham, ZL2BHF.
Don't forget, you only have until the 31st of May to tell us about a promising young amateur radio operator who could become our next Bill Pasternak WA6ITF Memorial Young Ham of the Year. Nominees must be licensed hams who are 18 years of age or younger, and they must reside in the continental United States. Do you know a deserving candidate? Visit our website, arnewsline.org, and find the nomination form under the Awards tab. Submit the documentation that tells us how your nominee has played an important role, not just in the community of fellow amateurs, but in the community at large. Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the EA5J. Alicante, Spain, on Thursdays at 1400 GMT +1. Also heard on All-Star, Echolink, System Fusion, DMR, Peanut, and VoIP PABX. When is a ham club POTA not just a ham club POTA? When it turns into an impromptu, on-the-air outing for scouts working to earn their radio merit badge. Jen DeSalvo, W9TXJ, was there.
It started as a POTA at the historic Santa Fe Prairie Nature Preserve just outside Chicago city limits.
We're just going to do a POTA event, and one of the members is a scout leader and said, well, hey, how about if I bring some scouts?
That member was Dennis Calderon, KC9DSP, president of the Suburban Technical Amateur Radio System, referring to Tom Bosworth, KE9JQ, who is both an amateur radio operator and active in scouts for nearly 4 decades. Tom is a Cubmaster for a local pass.
And I'm a radio merit badge counselor. We offered this out to the council. We expected 4 or 5 to show up, and we have 35 here today.
Tom was referring to a radio merit badge class. He says it is inevitable that kids today will grow up to have careers in computers and technology.
This is the most basic technology you're going to have.
He said the first thing he covered with the scouts was to tell them what radio is.
Which isn't just ham radio, obviously. It's also broadcast radio. It's your garage door opener.
The club set up 5 stations, giving the scouts a hands-on experience of how everything works. Club members set up stations for FT8, CW Morse code. They use mobile units to hit their 2-meter repeater, sideband voice.
One of the requirements is for them to talk to 5 other stations. So when they're on sideband and when they're on the FT8, they're actually participating in the communication.
Dennis, the club's president, plans to host more events for local scouts to not only earn their radio merit badge, but to carry the torch of ham radio.
But we have to get the youth involved and pass it down generation after generation. Get them involved so that they can get into this community to help people out.
From Chicago, I'm Jen DeSalvo, W9TXJ.
An amateur radio operator in Oman is hoping to lead the way for hams to have smoother, more reliable satellite tracking in contacts with the help of his downloadable mobile app. John Williams, VK4JJW, tells us more.
It didn't take long for Yusuf al-Balushi, A46UNX, to find his place in amateur radio right after being licensed in 2024. He was almost immediately drawn to chasing satellites, often using his own homebrew tools. Those challenging early days inspired him to create a free satellite tracking mobile app to help deliver the best possibilities for successful contacts. He gave it the name HamSatting. A member of the Royal Omani Amateur Radio Society, he shares the app freely with amateurs around the world, whether they're using its interactive map to track the ISS or to search for one particular amateur satellite. The app's numerous features include a built-in SSTV decoder that supports Robot 36/72 and other modes. He told the website, Muscat Daily, that this was his attempt at creating a single place that integrated as many needed services as possible without requiring the user to switch between several apps. Finding all existing apps incomplete, he began his development work in August of last year. HamSatting was formally released this past January. He designed it for use by licensed hams, satellite chasers, and people involved in ARIS contacts. In fact, tracking the ISS is a default function. Individuals who want access to other satellites will need to obtain a free API key from the satellite tracking service N2YO. Yusuf said that the app is also useful for grid square hunters working toward awards such as VUCC. It can be downloaded free from the Apple and Android app stores. More details available at unixeer.com. That's UNIXEER.com. He told the website, quote, I hope the app will make satellite communication easier and more enjoyable for the amateur radio community, end quote. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
It's a party, and you're invited to RSVP. April 25th is the International Marconi Day, and amateurs around the world will be calling CQ to honor the man who helped bring us wireless communication. Register for the official event by visiting the website operated by the Cornish Amateur Radio Club. You'll find it in the text version of this week's Newsline script at arnewsline.org. The number of registered stations continues to grow, and you can see the list as well on the same website. There are awards available for shortwave listeners as well as hams. Visit the website to see how to qualify. Internet-assisted modes such as DMR, Echolink, and digital voice modes are not eligible. Speaking of special occasions and special events, International Amateur Radio Day is the 18th of April. Don't forget to get on the air. In the world of DX, Harry, JG7PSJ, will be calling QRZ as JD1BMH from Chijima, IOTA number AS031. Ogasawara from 26th of April to the 4th of May. He will operate CW, single sideband, and ready on 40 through 10 meters. Aldir PY1SAD is on the air as 8R1TM from Guyana until the 10th of May, operating CW, single sideband, and digital modes on 160 through 6 meters. He is also operating via satellite from 2300 to 300 UTC during the week and full-time on weekends. Aldir is participating in the CQ-MMDX contest on the 18th and 19th of April. The early moon missions of the 1960s were most certainly awe-inspiring, but for those of us who were perhaps young students here on Earth at the time, they were as distant an experience to us as the moon itself. Well, not so with Artemis II. With 8 universities chosen by NASA to track the Orion spacecraft via radio, the moon became a close and almost palpable presence for the young. Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITB, explains.
Yes, tracking a moon mission can be a personal experience, as many students on several university campuses discovered. In Pennsylvania, Sawyer Mervis and Jake Wendt were up on a campus rooftop in the early morning hours with a parabolic antenna and other student-built equipment. They were collecting data for the U.S. Space Agency, NASA, from the 248,655-mile flight around the moon. The receiving station had been a team project, with the Panther Amateur Radio Club at the University of Pittsburgh receiving guidance and support from faculty in various engineering departments. Farther south, students at the American University in Washington, D.C. tracked the Orion spacecraft with a radio dish about 6.5 feet wide, installed by physics major Ankur Purao at a university-owned property in nearby Warren, Virginia. Emotions ran high for everyone toward the end of the 10-day mission. Suddenly, the students were no longer tasked with an assignment that called for tracking, collecting data, and measuring Doppler shift. Now, all eyes were on the return of the 4 crew members as their journey ended safely in a Pacific splashdown. That conclusion brought the Artemis II mission back home to all of them. As American University first-year student Shafak Yousaf said, quote, "We're going to be telling generations about this and that we've played a part in this," end quote. This is Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITB.
With thanks to Amateur Radio Daily, AMSAT News, CBS News, David Behar, K7DB, DX Zone, 425 DX News, Groups.io, KTV Channel 2, Linton News, National Weather Service, Paintsville Herald, QRZ.com forums, MuscatDaily.com, Newsweek, the Radio Society of Great Britain, ShortwaveRadio.de, SFGate, Stacy Holbrook, KH6OWL, WBNG News 12, the Wireless Institute of Australia, WTAE, WTOP, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Paul Brown, WD9GCO in Valparaiso, Indiana, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2026. Amateur Radio Newsline retains ownership of its material even when retransmitted elsewhere. All rights are reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Net to start in about 9 minutes.
Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net. My name is Thomas, and my call sign is KE8OWX. However, for the purpose of this net, I'll be using a club call, Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open and directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic shall go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance net operating practices, and at times of social isolation, to keep members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m., preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. We'll go through announcements to start, and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that's complete, I'll take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time, confirming each call before I move on to the next. Then we'll work through the next set of 5 check-ins and 5 more until we've completed. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call, repeat it phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been worked, we'll close the net after repeating the announcements. We also operate an HF plus 6 meter band exploration net starting at 9:30 p.m. after this net. The approximate frequencies are posted on the web page, and tonight will be on 40 meters at approximately 7 Mark 187 megahertz. Please join us if you have the privileges and the equipment. The announcement that I have is, I believe this Wednesday is an unmeeting at the clubhouse, so you are welcome to join us for that at any time. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, now asking for check-ins from hams or officers with traffic of general interest to the net. Please call now.
This is W8VPV.
Go ahead, W8VPV.
Yes, I haven't looked today, but I saw a couple of days ago email messages about the unmeeting on the 22nd, possibly being a BOG and at the clubhouse, and also possibly on a Zoom also at the same time. But I haven't, like I said, I haven't looked at the emails lately. This W8VPV back to the net.
Yes, I did see that email, but I didn't see the announcement of the official Board of Governance meeting, but that may be part of the unmeeting at the clubhouse. You have anything else for us, John?
I know, that's all. This is W3X back to the net.
All right. Is there anybody else with an announcement for the net before we move on to regular check-ins?
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar.
Go ahead, Vince.
Good evening, Thomas and everybody else on the net. Everybody knows what I'm going to ask and what I'm going to request. It's time for newsletter stuff. The end of the month is coming up here within a couple of weeks, and it tends to be void of any articles for the newsletter until the last minute. So if you got something going, it's in my best interest if you send it now, so I can get a jump on it and get it formulated correctly. Other than that, Thomas, that's all I have. AC8XO, back to net.
Thanks, Vince. Good to hear you. And we will re-announce that. Newsletter articles. All right. This is W8VPV, and we're looking for regular check-ins. Please call now.
November 7, Whiskey Alpha Mike, N7, WAM, Bill in Macedonia.
I got you, Bill. Next, please.
Charlie, WA8KOC, Fred in Akron.
Got you, Fred. Next, please.
Kilo, Foxtrot 8, Echo, Bravo, Bravo,
All right, that was a devil. I got KF8EPB. If that other station could come back, please.
Bravo 8, Victor, Hotel Kilo, John and Kenmore, in and out.
Got you in and out. VHK, next, please.
Kilo, Echo 8, Victor, Quebec X-Ray, KE8VQX, Joe in Akron.
All right, got you, Joe. Next, please.
KF8FAV, Brian and Talmadge.
FAV, I've got you. Next, please.
Kilo Echo 8, Uniform Lima Charlie, Kurt Kugaval.
I got you, Kurt. Next, please. All right, let's go with what we got. We had John, did have an announcement there, and we had Vince that had an announcement. So that brings us down to N7 WAM in Macedonia. Go ahead.
W8VPV, N7 WAM. Good evening, Thomas. Everybody on the net. Hope everybody's doing well. Not too much going on. Back to winter time for a day, I guess. Free to all, and have a great rest of your week, and stay safe.
All right, we appreciate you stopping by. You did pretty good until the middle of your transmission where it just trailed off, but I think that's the issue we're chasing down at the repeater site. We appreciate you stopping by, though. Fred, you're up. W8VPV. Good to hear you, bud.
W8VPV, W8VPV. Thomas, good evening, and how the heck are you? Good to hear you. Nice running the net. You do a great job. Thanks for taking my check-in. I'm just kind of cruising along here today. Cold day, really cold. Didn't get to do a lot of what I wanted, but that's okay. I got some things accounted for, and tomorrow's going to be a better day, a warmer day. Wednesday even better. I think we're expecting rain sometime in the late part of the week, but hopefully that won't put a damper on anything. You take good care of yourself. Maybe I'll hear you on the net tomorrow morning. Whatever you do, have a marvelous Monday, and everybody enjoy Cuyahoga Falls Weekly Net. W8VPV 73 W88KOC.
Good to hear you, Fred. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you tomorrow morning. KF8EPB, you're up.
Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor. This is Kilo Foxtrot 8 Echo Papa Bravo. Good evening to everyone on the net. Hope everyone's doing good. I don't have much for tonight. I just wanted to say it was had a good time at the Ham Fest, and it was fun helping out. Picked up a couple of things, and yeah, working on that. So with that, I'll send it back to you. This is KF8EPB. Everyone have a good night.
Thanks for stopping by. We do appreciate it. And thanks for helping out with Hamfest. We had B8VHK was in and out, and KE8VQX, you're up.
W8VPV, this is KE8VQX. Good evening, Thomas, and everyone on the net. Good to hear everybody. It's been a while since I've been able to participate, and glad to be here. Missed the Ham Fest, unfortunately. I've been to the last two, but the two previous. Always a good one, but I was working and out of town, so I wasn't able to do that. I got a few things done outside today. I've been goofing around with some solar stuff and batteries, and seeing if I can get a handle on that. That's kind of fun, with the idea of working remote with radios and so forth. Anyway, thanks for getting me in, Thomas. We'll talk to you again some other time. This is KE8VQX, back to W8VPV.
Thanks for stopping by. We do appreciate hearing you. Maybe we'll catch you next week. Up next is KF8FAV. Go ahead.
KF8FAV. Good evening, guys. First time actually on the net, let alone communicating with anybody outside of my home on a radio. Still very new to this. Mildly nervous. Not much going on with me. Just trying to recover some having bronchitis due to the weather going in and out, and not much fun, but working, and that's about it. KF8FAV.
Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. We're very happy to be your first net there, and hopefully we'll hear you every Monday from here on out. Lastly, on the bottom of our list here, we got Kurt, KE8ULC. How's it going, Kurt?
To the W8VPV net. I'm doing pretty well. I had another BCG treatment tonight for bladder cancer, and this seems to be the least of the problems I've had taken in the past. So I'm quite pleased with that, but it's a long night before I get over it all. The weather was horrible this morning. I worked at the church pantry, pulled stuff back and forth. We had frost everywhere. It's only a few days before the weather was Thomas at W8VPV. This is KEALC.
All right, Kurt. You dropped out there for the last 15 seconds or so. If you want to rebroadcast that, we'd be happy to hear you.
I'm just hoping for some better weather. Springtime instead of frost on the truck as we go out to work tomorrow. I've been working at the food bank for several days. However, I had a BCG treatment this morning, which means tomorrow I won't feel like working at the food bank. So the rest of you, take care, help others around you, be kind to them. This is KEALC, back to W8VPV.
I too am hoping for better weather. I'm not usually a fan of all this cold stuff again. Anyways, that brings us to the bottom of our list here. This is Whiskey 8 to Victor, Papa Victor. And we're looking for any additional check-ins. Please call now.
Good evening, Thomas. Please check in Whiskey 8 Echo Zulu Tango.
I got you, Frank. Next, please.
8 KVI, in and out.
KE8 KVI, got you in and out.
Kilo Echo 8 Tango Quebec Romeo, KE8 TQR, Keith in Uniontown.
All right, got you, Keith. Next, please. We'll go with what we got. Frank, you're up. W8EZT.
Good evening, Thomas. Everybody on the net. Just wanted to again say thanks for everybody who showed up at our Hamfest. Had a good time. As I mentioned earlier, the club came out ahead on it, and we had a lot of great volunteers. If anybody incurred any expenses during the Hamfest that are reimbursable, let me know. I want to get a final number to the officers and trustees and everybody else about what we made. I want to specifically thank Terrence and Keith for all the photography they did. Pictures are on the website now. Feel free to go there and look around. There's some excellent shots. And if anybody else took pictures and wants to get them up there, we just certainly appreciate it. So that's really about all I've got. I'll catch you offline or maybe after the net and talk to you a little bit about the repeater. I've got a game plan for the next step of identifying this issue, and I think it is in the rack at this point. So we'll catch you after the net. W8ECT, back to net.
Sounds good, Frank. Thanks for stopping by. And that brings us down to Keith. KE8 to TQR, you're up.
W8VPV, this is KE8 TQR. Good evening, Thomas. Thanks for getting me in here on the net. Good evening to everyone else. Well, I was going to say about my pictures, but I guess everybody knows all about them now. They're up on the website, so I haven't been there yet, so I'll take a look here in a little bit. Had a great weekend. Saturday just spent time here at home, and then I spent some time yesterday with some friends walking around the gun show out there at Medina County Fairgrounds. And today I did some running around this morning. Had to stop off at the credit union and rearrange some money. And then it was home here to do the lawn. Yeah, the back lawn anyway. It grows faster than the front for some reason. I don't know why, but I got the one dog is kind of on the short side, and she was starting to get lost in the grass. So anyway, the 80% of it is mowed. I'll get the rest of it tomorrow if the sun stays out. I do believe it's supposed to be warmer, well, by a couple degrees anyway. I did enjoy the Hamfest. Helped out with the testing, and I think we did really well there. I'm glad to hear that we come out ahead, so that's great. And everyone had a wonderful time, and hopefully people took home some things that they needed or just wanted to have. So with that, I just want to wish everyone a great evening, great rest of the week, and hope to hear everybody next Monday night. I'll send it back to you, Thomas. Thanks for running the net. You're doing a fine job. This is KE8 TQR saying 73, and God bless.
Thanks for stopping by. We will hopefully hear you on 40, although the band is atrocious today. They all are. But hopefully we'll be able to hear you in a couple of minutes. This is Whiskey 8 to Victor, Papa Victor, for the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club, VHF UHF ClubNet. We are looking for any additional check-ins. Please call now.
KE8ULA, Leo and Stowe, in and out.
KE8ULA, we got you in and out. Next, please. Not hearing any. We'll go through the announcements. This Wednesday is the unmeeting at the clubhouse, and I believe that's going to involve part of a Board of Governance meeting for that. So you feel free to join in person, and I believe on Zoom as well. And thank you to everybody that took the time to help the Ham Fest in one way or another. We very much appreciate it, and thanks for all your help in making that a success. With that, we're at I can't forget. Vince will kill me here. If you have a newsletter article, please get it in ASAP, so he can get the newsletter out for this month. This is Whiskey 8 to Victor, Papa Victor. We'll do last call for check-ins. Please call now. Hearing none, we'll prepare to close the net. I'd like to thank everybody that took the time to join us and check in. Without your participation, we wouldn't have a net. This has been KE8OWX, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, we'll close the net with 13 check-ins and return the repeater to customary and amateur use. The net for 40 meters will be announced closer to that 9:30 time period. I don't think we're going to have a big problem finding a spot, so that'll be somewhere in the ballpark of 7187, but that will be announced closer to that. This is Whiskey 8 to Victor, Papa Victor, closing this net at 8:52 p.m. local time, 73.
KE8OWX, W8EZT.
Yeah, go ahead, Frank.
I did some experimenting this weekend with my spectrum analyzer, tracking generator, and the pigtail that came off the repeater a couple of months ago in one of the maintenance upgrades. I first just took it from the first aligned the spectrum analyzer and normalized it against the tracking generator with just a short jumper in there, then put the pigtail in there, which is about 3 feet long, so a big loop there, and then proceeded to flex it, and the trace was just jumping all over the place, so clearly that cable had an issue. I then rigged it up so that I had a T in the circuit, and put the output of the tracking generator right back into the spectrum analyzer, but also put a T in there and ran a end SO239, and then put a short segment of coax in there with ends on either side, and was very able to accurately measure it based on the quarter wave shorting effect of leaving that end open. and factoring its dielectric constant in there is able to get an exact distance. So I think we can test, and even if we don't know what coax was used, redetermine what the physical length needs to be to achieve the same electrical length to connect those, and I'd like to try to replace all those jumpers in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. We do need to get probably get all those replaced. I'm assuming you have RG214.
So I've got a big roll of 214 that I got specifically for this type of operation, and I'll certainly donate whatever's needed for that. I do not have any crimp connectors, and I've never used them before. I do it the old-fashioned way, solder and everything, but I'm certainly willing to give crimps a try, especially if they're easier to put on. We could do them up there some evening.
Yeah, I do have to order those. Let me order those. They'll be all silver-plated, or silver connectors. DX did not have the crimp ones, but I know Antenna Farm does.
Okay, let's see. I'm looking at, just from my memory, 1, 2, 3 times 2, 6 jumpers or 12 crimp-ons.
That sounds correct in my mapping as well.
Okay, one other thing. That's odd. Somehow I jumped to the 440 side. I swore I checked in on the 2-meter side, and my radio is now telling me I'm on the 440 side.
That may have just been recent, because I don't believe that beep was there a few minutes ago.
Repeater.
No, I just saw it jump again. I have radio problems. It jumped from channel 3 down to channel 1, which for me was the old Akron U repeater. So I got some radio problems I got to look into. I actually saw it do that time. Anyway, on the connectors, I was going to say, before you order them, let's get this bog meeting out, because we're going to need some connectors for up in the shack also, and we might as well get them all in one big order.
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that. I don't think that'll be a problem.
Okay, and we will Zoom meeting the bog meeting, so definitely you can attend from home after 5 or whenever you get a chance after 5. That'll be fine.
That sounds good. I do need to... I've got a million things going on in my head. I got to email Bruce, see if he can get me the current repeater controller file, so I can start looking through that and how that would modify when we get All-Star up there as well. I want to start taking a look at that.
Definitely, that we definitely need to get on. And I would like to get you the hardware I put together for Echolink. You can use any or all of it for All-Star. Again, the Echolink approach was a remote node powered at the clubhouse, just so you could go in through that. But if you can use any or all of it, let me know. It's pretty much all club equipment, either owned by the club or donated by me to the club.
I gotcha. I'm working on little pieces here and there so we can get there relatively quickly after we can figure out this nasty problem we keep having with the repeater.
Okay, well, just wanted to let you know then. We'll talk to you more about it Wednesday. I think it's going to be a big meeting. And for any club member that's still listening, yeah, we are going to have a bog meeting Wednesday. It'll be at the clubhouse starting around 4. We're going to be passing some financial bills just to for the fund the clubhouse and to do some club funding. including, as you can hear, the repeater work. So you're invited to come show up. We'd also like to hear what you want to do with the club. So please consider attending our BOG meeting, either in person at the clubhouse or in the Zoom link, and it will be linked. All right, that's all I got. We'll catch you on 40 meters tonight. Hopefully the noise isn't too bad. I'm going to go ahead and warm things up now. W8ECT back to, well, that's it. I'll be clear on your final. W8ECT.
Sounds good, Frank. We'll start looking at the scope here in a second. KE8OWX, I'm clear.